Today on DNVR Buffs Live, Coach Prime in Colorado just landing themselves an electric corner, and recruiting is just starting to heat up. Plus, the Big 12 might be getting scary at the quarterback position. Let's get it. Let's go.
Squad.
Damn, let it ring.
That was a commit squad right there.
Go.
A new buff squad right there.
Hell yeah. Welcome into the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores, the official vehicle of DNVR. And yeah, Scotty's right on it. Big day. Preston Ashley commits to the Colorado Buffaloes. Now their second commitment of the 2026 recruiting class. Of course, he was with a bunch of 4 other guys, I think, last weekend visiting Boulder. Obviously, really liked what he saw. I mean, that's a pretty quick commitment. It was down to Colorado, Florida, Florida State. We'll dig into that. We'll look at a little bit of his film. We'll talk about the Big 12's quarterbacks. Thomas Castellanos, he just won't quit, that guy. And much more.
People going to stop doing interviews with Pete Nakos.
Yeah. For real.
Every time that happens, it turns bad.
I get it when it was like Taylor Rooks.
Bro. Why did I literally have that thought yesterday? I'm like, gee, what do Pete Nakos be doing to these folks? Because I know it can't be, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? Well, what is he saying to these people to have them talking out of character? But hey. I swear, bro, I had that thought yesterday, G.
That's crazy. Preston Ashley, though. Preston Ashley, a very dynamic player.
Dog.
He is listed at 5'10", 170 pounds. He plays at Brandon High School in Brandon, Mississippi. 214th overall player, 19th ranked defensive back in the class. Again, pick Colorado over Florida State and Florida. He still has an official visit set for Florida State right before the season. I don't know if he's going to cancel that or not right now, but I mean, we talked about the quote yesterday that Adam had on his story. Basically, Preston just saying, you know, this is the right place for me. If I want to go to the NFL at my position, this is where I should go. Pretty much teasing the commitment, honestly, now that it, you know, looking back in hindsight, because less than 24 hours later, he does, you know, say the magic word. So initial reactions, okay?
Stoked, man. This guy is kind of a freaky athlete.
We got if we have the clip, go ahead and roll it too.
Yeah, just kind of the next in line of Coach Prime's big cornerback commitments here. And so this is just a really fun player, and I think a guy who's going to help get this recruiting class momentum rolling. I do have to think and just laugh about, like, I wonder if Florida and Florida State are just kind of looking at each other like, the hell? Like,
what the hell? It
was us too, and then Colorado. Like, now we're losing battles to Colorado. I love it. So stoked for him, man.
Yeah, according to Billy Tucker at the UC Report, one of the most athletic prospects in the country. He was a top 100 recruit, according to ESPN, 93 overall prospect in this 2026 class, an Under Armour All-American. And you're kind of seeing some of the athleticism here, you know, what he's able to do on the football field from the cornerback position. And we talked a little bit, I think, about yesterday when we were talking about this cornerback spot. Like, if you're an elite cornerback, high school ranks, what better place is there than Colorado to learn under Kevin Mathis, to learn under, you know, Coach Prime, the best cornerback ever and one of the best coordinators in college football, in my opinion, and Robert Livingston. And Preston actually mentioned that, to Andrew Nemec at Sporting News. He had a quote. He goes, "He is the best, in the staff." He being Coach Prime, that is. The staff, Coach Kevin Mathis and Coach Robert Livingston. It doesn't get better than that. Boulder itself is home, and I'm just so blessed. I'm home and I'm ready to work. Just go Buffs. An elite player at a really important, impactful position.
No doubt. Just watching those, I can see why he's actually ranked some places as a safety. Because the dude comes downhill. He likes to play around the line of scrimmage. He's got a nose for the football as well. Obviously not afraid to tackle, as you just saw. He'll come downhill. He'll wrap up. He'll make a difference in the run game as well. This is, you look at the archetype of just all the players on defense that Robert Livingston has. It's get after the football, relentless, play with your hair on fire type of stuff. So this is a great culture fit and a big bump for the 2026 recruiting class.
He looks super fluid out there, super confident in all of his movements, very comfortable in his body, and just has that football playing instinct that really sticks out, which is usually easier to see from a linebacker position, just reading and reacting. But you can tell he's got his eyes on the quarterback. He's thinking the game rather than just being an elite athlete, which he is that. But I like when I watch him play, and when you watch that tape, he just looks like very comfortable on the field.
Mm-hmm. He does.
I really like where this, and obviously it's crazy. We were talking about this yesterday with recruiting in terms of, telling people who might be nervous a little bit, just to relax a little bit. It's kind of part of the course for in the middle of June when it comes to recruiting. And obviously, less than 24 hours later, you get a pretty big commitment. But, 3 commits now in this 2026 class. I really like each of those guys and their potential, and obviously what they've shown from the high school ranks. Dominic Peko Jr. coming from the JUCO ranks, the number 1 ranked JUCO player in this 2026 class. Preston Ashley, the number 1 ranked cornerback in the state of Mississippi, and Gavin Mueller, a 4-star tight end who chose the Buffs over a couple tight end universities, if you will. Notre Dame, LSU, Wisconsin. Yeah. So those are your first 3 kind of commits in this class. It's a great start, and this won't be a small class for too long, or a class that is hovering around the 100 ranked recruiting class in the country. That won't be the case for much longer.
We talked about it yesterday. There's a lot of dates set out. We had this tease coming with Preston Ashley from Hayes Fawcett and all, but the recruiting momentum is real for this program right now. Truly. I think there's a lot of blue chippers in play, and ultimately that's all you can do. Put yourself in play at the finish line, and then just hope and pray, cross your fingers that the kid picks up the logo, the hat with your logo on it, pretty much. Honestly, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is going to be the first domino in a little bit of a run that they're about to go on here.
Seems that way.
From what I've heard, they're in a good place with a lot of different guys, and it doesn't always work out this way, but a lot of times these things come in bunches, especially after a kind of run of recruiting visits like they had.
And then just looking at this secondary for the future too, you have to get extremely excited about this. You have now Preston Ashley, but we talked a lot about Noah King when he came in. True freshman. Hasn't even played a down of college football yet. He's a 4-star player basically from this prior recruiting class. Now you have him and Preston Ashley at the cornerback position. We'll see if Preston gets moved to corner or safety or whatever. But even at that room, you have Antonio Branch, who was very promising in the spring game.
Oh yeah.
They signed Kyle Carpenter, the safety walk-on from Buford. Buford being a power out there in Georgia. Tawfiq Bayard is going to be a sophomore this year.
That's crazy to think about.
Makari Vickers, he's got plenty of time to recover and get right now. At this point, he's going to be a true sophomore this year.
Yeah.
If DJ really wanted to, he could come back next year. I doubt that happens. But Tayon Park, same thing. He's a junior. You could have him next year, and that could be kind of your vet in the secondary. The future of this secondary is set in stone pretty much at this point.
And both the safeties they brought in the spring, this portal, have multiple years of eligibility left as well. Terrence Love and John Slaughter from Auburn and Tennessee, respectively. So, there's a lot to like with this secondary in terms of youth, potential, and just kind of, projecting forward. There's a lot to like.
No doubt. And shout out to Coach Livingston, Coach Mathis, the staff. They've made such an impact over the last year that it's crazy, both on and off the field, really, in development. getting guys in. Anything else on Preston Ashley before we move on?
Stoked for him. Welcome to the herd.
And he's very stoked too. He's been he's already mixing it up with the fan base, you know, kind of commenting on photos of him and stuff. So he's very hyped to be a Buff, man. This is a big one. Who's next on the is it Deacon this Saturday? Is that the next one?
Yeah, Deacon announces his commitment this Saturday right here in Windsor, Colorado, between Colorado, Alabama, and Oklahoma. And then, yeah, there's...
Where's he doing it?
At Windsor High School,
I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In the summer?
Yeah.
I just they're just opening the doors for him. That's sick.
Oh, yeah. Facts.
I mean, he's a top-rated recruit in the state. Gotta.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And
You can do it here if you want.
I mean,
I'll ask him. But yeah, like you said, you ran through it yesterday, Jake, with my tweet from yesterday, just some upcoming like dates. Obviously, like you mentioned, Deacon Schmidt this Saturday, July 1st, Chirp Skews has to in his top 4. The next day, Sedarian Morgan, which is obviously a big one. And then we just found out today, Manoah Faupusa, who I spoke to last night, told me last night that he is making his decision next weekend, next Saturday, July 5th. And he also told me that he cut down his final 5 schools to 3 schools, Colorado included, alongside Arizona and North Carolina. I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit in the show. And then Rodney Colton Jr., the week after that, 4-star linebacker, he's announcing his decision. He has Colorado in his top 5. So it could get real scary here in like the next 2.5 weeks.
How many is that?
That right there is 5 guys who have set commitment dates that
In the next 2
Colorado's
weeks.
in. Yep.
Okay, so 5 out of 5 would be like insane.
incredible. Yeah.
4 out of 5.
Still probably the same. Just like, I can't believe this happened. type of
Same.
thing.
I think I would put 4 and 5 in the same category,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
same tier, low-key, yeah.
How are we feeling at 3?
Depends which 3.
It would depend probably which 3, but I mean, still, you feel pretty good about that.
Honestly, if you just get Sedarian, I think you're still just going crazy.
Sedarian counts for
backflips.
2.
Yes, he does.
This
I think.
is counts for 2.
Okay.
Deacon's
2-1,
a massive one too, though. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
these are big time recruits, man.
Keeping that guy home too, especially.
Yeah.
You got like any promises you want to make if we go 5 for 5? Like you'll shave
No,
your
I'm
head
good.
or
If we go 5 for 5, I'll eat meatloaf live on the show. What's up? There you go, right there.
there we go.
Oh,
Who's responsible for cooking this?
I'm gonna hit up.
Because me and Jake are both good cooks.
Yeah.
If y'all want to volunteer, sure.
I don't have a recipe.
We can do a whole cooking stream now.
Yeah, it's true.
I was gonna hit up my lady Laura Levy because you know that
that's
meatloaf
true, that's
issue
true.
on the time it made me. I was like, okay, I can maybe see that.
True.
So if we go 5 for 5, I'm gonna hit up Laura. If you're watching, Laura,
But
meet
if
you
we go
up.
5 for 5, like we're doing like brisket meatloaf. You know, like we're getting crazy with it.
Absolutely. No
God.
doubt, man.
Yeah, I mean, again, if that happens, yeah, everybody. I mean, Pete Nako, all of them going to be talking about that. Colorado is on a crazy run right now, and I think it's possible.
It'd be one of those, if they actually did sweep these next 5, it'd be one of those moments where like even the haters would be like, wow, that's impressive. Like they'd have nothing to say.
That's true. That's true for sure.
No, they would say like, I wonder where all this money's coming from.
Well, that too.
By the way, Chef Donnie said he's got a recipe for us.
Say less.
All
I
right.
actually said he'll come cook it himself.
Ooh, okay.
Here
All
we
right,
go.
chef.
Even better.
We could also ask our chef here at the DNVR bar.
True.
Yeah, Chef Rob can he can cook it up.
He's killing it, by the way. Someone sent me a pic that they came and got the chicken Caesar wrap
saw that.
yesterday.
That's my guy, man.
It
Dude
looked-
knows ball and food.
That one looked exactly like the one you posted too.
I know.
That's how
it's
you know
the
consistency.
dude.
Have you had
Very
it yet?
key. I have not. No,
You better get on that one,
for
dude.
sure. And honestly,
Do
too,
you like buffalo sauce?
Not
Okay,
really.
Then just go with the
It's
regular
not my
one.
favorite. Yeah.
What do you like?
Honestly.
Bro, me and Jake were talking about Chipotle one day yesterday, and I was like, you know what? Maybe it's me. Maybe it is. Maybe it's just me, bro. And I got a very specific, unique palate, and I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that.
You and RC together just I don't even know if you guys could settle on a place to eat, honestly.
We go to Harold's.
That's the real reason why we didn't bring RC to our breakfast the other day.
True.
Oh, man.
All right, let's take our first break.
One last thing, though.
What's up?
I'll say it on the other side of this break. Go ahead.
Shout out to the homies over at Toyota. They've been doing it for generations, and trucks are part of Toyota's DNA. Those beautiful new Tacomas, they got hybrids, tons of options for you, but not just trucks. Damn near anything you want. If you want a sedan, little minivan, sports car, hybrids, Toyota's got you covered. They also got you covered on the road if anything goes wrong. Maybe you get a flat tire coming east on Highway 36 from Boulder, and you're stranded in the middle of the road.
Couldn't be me, but I know who it could be.
Yeah, but Toyota would have your back. They'd send someone to go save you and fix the tires. So great
Facts.
people. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial. Corwin Toyota in Boulder. Groove Toyota in Littleton. Mountain States Toyota in Denver. Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora. And Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of CU Athletics and the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places.
Also, shout out to our friends over at FanStake who are making it easier for you to stake players to come to your school. And, of course, our school is Colorado. Right now, Colorado, 5th most popular school on FanStake. That's something worth celebrating, but it's not enough for me. I need us to be top 3, and really I need us to be top 1. We want to be the best at everything, right? So let's get over to FanStake. Let's stake some players. You can stake current players on the team to stay, and if they leave, you'll get your money back. Or you can stake players like Cedarian Morgan to come to Colorado, which is, in my opinion, a little more fun. But it's all fun. So get over there right now. You can get $25 into your account immediately before you even put in a credit card. There's no commitment required. So at least go over there and take your $25 and maybe throw it on Cedarian Morgan. You can click the link in our description, scan the QR code, or head to fanstake.com and use the promo code DNVR to help bring Cedarian Morgan to the Buffaloes.
Chat, you got to chill, bro.
I would just like to address one comment here. If you just scroll up from Run the Ball, what is it? Run like CU, Run the Ball, CU. He says, Scotty's a fellow black man. What you mean you don't like hot sauce? Listening is a skill, my guy. RK just asked me if I like buffalo sauce, and I don't really like buffalo sauce. If you think buffalo sauce and hot sauce are the same thing, I'm worried about you, brother, because they are not the same thing. I'll rock with hot sauce. Buffalo sauce, I'm cool on that. But
yep. You did have some like beginner level hot sauce takes, but it's better than
Fair
nothing.
enough.
Better than nothing.
I'll take that. I'm cool with that. What I wanted to say before, we were talking about maybe going 5 for 5 with those guys.
Yep.
If they even go, 3 or 4 out of that 5 without Coach Prime even being here on campus for them to see and interact with, it's going to get scary.
Yep. Just wait till he gets back. And we get game day visits and all this stuff with this momentum that is coming from this offseason.
I love buffalo sauce, by the way. I used to get roasted for putting it on things it didn't belong on.
What's the craziest thing you put some buffalo sauce on?
The one that I got roasted for the most was an Italian sandwich.
That is pretty wild. Like a cold cut? Or
yeah.
That's not terrible.
I don't know. I didn't think it was either, but I got a lot of heat for it.
I don't think I was putting buffalo sauce on chicken Caesar salads and wraps until I started to eat them with you, though. So
see, sometimes if there's anything that has like a white sauce on it, there's a place for buffalo. It mixes well. I couldn't say cream either. What am I supposed to say?
I don't know.
Light colored sauce?
I don't know, man. That's all you.
I'm dead.
Oh, man. All right. Who'd you speak to today? Manoah Faupusa, right? Did I say it?
Manoah Faupusa, yeah.
Faupusa, okay.
3-star defensive lineman from down there in Southern California. He was on campus in Boulder for a visit. Not this past weekend, but the weekend before, alongside, his Polynesian brothers,
the Domata Peko weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Precisely. I talked to Manoah last night. He told me that he trimmed his final 5, like I mentioned earlier, down to 3 schools. That includes, obviously, Colorado, Arizona, North Carolina as well. told me he's going to announce his commitment next Saturday on Instagram Live, July 5th. So make sure y'all tune into that. We'll obviously be tapped into that for sure. But, just asking Manoah about his visit, he goes, I had a great time in Boulder just being with Coach Pecco and seeing the mind he has. And I thought this was really interesting because we talk a lot about Pecco and just his potential impact. But he goes, everyone knows he was a great player, but we don't really know much about how he coaches. So being able to see his mind and how he's thinking about using me on his defensive line was a great thing to be around, which I thought that was really cool because he's completely right. Like nobody could tell you what Domata Pecco's coaching style is, or even how he might be as a coach. Although we know what he is as a person and a former player or whatnot. So Manoah got to see what that would be like, and he was really impressed, especially with the fact that he was around, his Polynesian brothers. He goes, we had a good amount of Poly kids, so they all felt like my cousins.
Hell yeah.
He goes, that was a great experience for me, especially being around the Poly community and with how welcoming everybody was. And when he said that, it clicked to me like how shrewd of a move it was for Corey Phillips, Coach Box, and the rest of their recruiting staff to get those group of players there on the same weekend so that they can experience Boulder together. That was just so smart. And I'm sure that's a thing that probably the elite, college football programs have done historically on the recruiting side. But like I said, for Phillips and the rest of them to coordinate that, because I'm sure that takes a lot of coordination. I'm sure there are other schools that are like, we want you here this weekend. And Kyler was like, no, we need you here this weekend. This is going to be the best kind of opportunity to see what we're all about. And it seems like it's paid massive dividends. Manoah obviously really enjoyed his time. Asked him about the Polynesian pipeline of Colorado because he's obviously aware of the rich kind of history that the Colorado football program has with Polynesian players and whatnot. And he goes, that's definitely something that can go down in Boulder. They already have Coach Pecco, guys on the team like Mana Taimani, Domata Pecco Jr. already over there. That's a great start. And they're definitely about to pick up a couple more Polynesian guys to get that Poly pipeline started, is what Manoah Faupusa told me. So that's interesting right there. And I didn't think about either too. Mana, I don't feel like we mentioned him in terms of like this Polynesian talk. Like that's a really
the first
good
one.
Yeah, right. That's a really good kind of pillar for the young guys to kind of look up to and know that they have somebody similar already in the building. So I encourage you guys to go check out the rest of my story, my interview with Manoah. It's obviously on DNVR.com for the diehards. Make sure y'all tune in and tap in with that. But next weekend we'll know Manoah's decision. And I would say too, just hearing him talk, I would kind of put Colorado and Arizona on the same kind of tier in terms of where he's thinking, because Arizona has a lot of what I think Manoah is looking for in terms of family. This is another quote. He goes, the biggest value that I look for in a program is the coaching. I want to be somewhere the coaching get me to the next level and where I want to be in the future. So that plays a big part, as well as my relationship with the coaches. That obviously sounds like Colorado. He goes, I don't want to be somewhere for 4 years and I'm not really wanted, don't really see the field, and just ultimately not happy. He's also looking for a family environment. He goes, I come from a big Polynesian family, so family means everything to me. I want to be somewhere that feels like home. And obviously with Arizona having, Noah Fafita, T-Mac last year, a massive kind of Polynesian already kind of community built in Arizona, in Tucson, which I assume would, kind of be something Manoah likes and looks for, but can't count out Colorado because we talked about it, he used to watch Domata Pecco highlights, and being able to spend time around Pecco and his sons, I think, that last weekend, I think made a real impression on him for sure.
Going back to something you said, just talking about the decision to bring him in, whether it's, I'm sure it was a complete collaborative effort. Coach Prime, with all his Cowboys connections, where Coach Pecco was coaching, last year, but just Coach Phillips, coordinating this whole effort for that weekend, 1, 2. But it's truly chestnut checkers hiring Domata Pecco, because you realize that, if you go and just looked in the history of CU, you've talked about it a lot, the Poly pipeline. It's kind of dried up. And, this team needs more talent. Like, let's be frank, to get to where they want to go, they need more talent, especially in those areas. So, I mean, they've hit the nail on the head so far in terms of targets. And hearing him speak, honestly, it seems like it's the Polynesian pipeline's coming back sooner rather than later.
Be scary sight.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Manoah's a lock.
do we get that? We're able to get that video? I bet.
What do we got?
We actually played it Friday during the show, so you seen it.
Yeah.
But I don't think you've seen it.
What is it?
This is just a clip from Manoah and just what he's really capable of, and I think it's a good encapsulation of his talent. Because a lot of people have brought up obviously the block bully and his impact last year. That is such an important part of a defense. A run stuffing, immovable object at the point of attack is what, obviously the block bully was last year. That's something that Manoah has the potential to be with, 6'3", 350 pounds, being able to move the way he does, being able to, use a low center of gravity and get under offensive linemen. It's really impressive to watch, but yeah, we'll see.
They're coming after you, bro.
I know, yeah. You got to stand up for yourself, bro. Actually, I'm going to stand up for you. This is unacceptable. Leave my boy alone.
Bro, it's the same three. It's the same three folks, bro. We not listening to nothing Wayne Morgan talking about. So that don't even count. King Mars be like the, he like to play along with his little home. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
I approve of the trade though. I liked my former team, but I felt like this is the team I've always been destined for.
I'm dead.
I want to be where I'm wanted,
Exactly.
Same, bro. Same.
All right. That's pretty much recruiting for the day, unless there's anything else I'm missing out on. I mean, we'll talk quarterbacks here in a second, but just for CU recruiting, is there anything else? The 20, what's his name, bro? I'll look him up. The 2027 running back. You remember?
Somebody mentioned in the chat. Yes, I do remember Jake, but somebody mentioned in the chat Jordan Deck, who we've talked about.
Yes.
The 4-star safety. Had Colorado in his top 4, I believe. He announced his commitment today to Baylor. So he'll be in the Big 12.
And then this came out from Sam Spiegelman and Rivals yesterday. 2027 4-star running back CJ Cowley. He said Auburn is leading the way, but Colorado, Oregon, and Ole Miss are just behind. He is considering an early decision. I mean, it's truly early. We don't even have many 2027 rankings yet. And he's completely unranked, but he plays for Hoover in Hoover, Alabama. Big time school.
2 days.
2 days, yep.
You ever watch that? Is that are you too young for that?
Yeah, there's no way he watched that, bro.
There's like a reality TV show on MTV about a high school football team, and it was Hoover
I remember that. Okay, I remember that.
Yeah.
My sister actually put me onto that. She used to watch that, and I kind of tapped in.
Yeah, that stuff was the best.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's recruiting for the day. Can we take a break? And then on the other side? What?
Nothing.
Shout out to the homies over at Empire today. Colorado and Denver have one of the best home field advantages in sports, across all sports, really, because of that altitude. And Empire today is seeking to bring that same type of home field advantage to your home, whether it's carpet, hardwood flooring, tile. If you're switching to one of those, they've got you covered. They are the experts at flooring. That is all they do. Do not go to the big box stores and have someone who's, working on your garden and, painting your walls and all this stuff, try and tell you about what you need to do for your floors. Just go to the homies over at Empire today. This is what they do. You can check out the virtual floor designer from the comfort of your own home and see exactly what these new flooring options could look like right from the comfort of your own home. Or you could schedule a free in-home estimate today, because some things are just better at home. DNVR listeners can receive a $350 discount when you use promo code DNVR. Again, that's a $350 discount with code DNVR. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday.com/DNVR for full details.
And shout out to our good friends, the squad over at Game Time, man. I've been to 2 Colorado Rockies baseball games, and despite the fact that the Rockies have lost by a lot of runs in both of those games, I had a blast. I had fun both times, and I'm expecting I'll be at a handful of more Rockies games this summer. And
yes, we
when
will.
I do, I'm going to be using Game Time to cop my tickets, and you should too, because they have some of my favorite features, man. The last-minute tickets, the zone deals. You can view all seats in the venue from the app. Obviously, there's Game Time's low price guarantee, event cancellation, and even job loss protection. You can save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, even concerts, comedy, and maybe even some theater if that rocks your boat. Your purchase is always covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. And I mentioned that lowest price guarantee. You can get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. And all the fees are included, so you know your total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DNVR for $20 off. That's code BUFFS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply again. Create an account and redeem code BUFFS for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Shout out to Game Time.
All right. So let's talk quarterbacks.
Ooh. Okay.
You have something to say?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Yep.
They say
Okay.
you'd be wanting to laugh, bro.
I always want to laugh.
All right. The big news in college football today is 5-star quarterback Ryder Lyons. He came down to Oregon and BYU, and now BYU manages to pull this off in college football, getting one of the top quarterbacks in the 2026 recruiting class. He's a 5-star, 19th overall player, 5th-ranked quarterback in the class. He's coming in from California. I don't know the basketball player's name, but they just got the number 1 recruit in the 2026 basketball class. AJ, yes,
we saw him at the Rockies game. Were you
Huge
there
Rockies
Yeah,
guy.
I was watching them walk in the
Yeah.
gate. Yeah.
Huge Rockies guy.
But yeah, Ryder kind of a little bit of a stun, I think, today, picking BYU over Oregon. The fact that, I mean, Oregon is one of the NIL cash cows in college football, and BYU has now completely stepped it up to that level. They're obviously really good right now, just in terms of the 2025 football team. But if they keep recruiting at this level, I mean, and they have this much cash, they're going to be hard to top in the near future for many more guys. But
He's their first 5-star commit,
since 06, I think.
03.
03, yeah.
Over 20 plus years without a 5-star commit, and it comes, at the quarterback position, which is good for them, man.
Yep. But like yesterday, we mentioned Keyshawn Henderson, the Houston 5-star quarterback who's coming in.
Yeah, man.
Real quick, this, for lack of a better term, Mormon money is getting a little scary for me. But I guess new rules might help level the playing field.
Because it was kind of eye-opening for them to do it with basketball, with him, with AJ. But for them to double up in the same cycle, I'm pretty sure, with football is, that's kind of eye-opening.
But I think it's because there's an end date to this. Like before, it was like, how much money is this going to cost? Like, $50 million a year.
Right.
But now I think because there's like you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. They're like, all right, this is the last time we're ever going to be able to just throw money at people like this. Like, let's go heavy into this class.
And Chase is right. Don't estimate the Mormon money, honestly. Just do a little bit of research and you'll learn how much money they've got.
Should we latch on to like religion so we can get some more?
I mean, I don't know. Which one you want to pick?
Scientology?
Sure. Tom Cruise.
We were just talking about this earlier.
We were. But yes, so the church has a ton of money. This is obviously where it's all coming from. And now Ryder Lyons is going to be a BYU Cougar. And again, so Keyshawn Henderson, 5-star, committed to Houston. If you go back to the 2024 recruiting class, we've already seen a few of these guys in action, most notably Isaac Wilson at Utah. He was a high-ranked 4-star player. I mean, I know he's your favorite quarterback, of course. But Arizona's had some success in recruiting quarterbacks recently. Texas Tech has as well. And same with TCU, especially recently under Sonny Dykes. Julian Lewis, the obvious angle for Colorado. I mean, I'm not going to go through all 16 teams in the conference, but it's clear you can see what's kind of happening here. Quarterbacks are, I don't know if it's maybe just quarterbacks or Big 12 teams are just stepping up and they're actually getting these guys now, winning some big recruiting battles. But basically, to put a bow on it, can Julian Lewis help lead the push for the Big 12 and make them the conference of quarterbacks as soon as next year, maybe even this year?
I think so. I mean, the Big 12 has always been a good quarterback conference.
Yeah.
And, you know, especially in the, I don't know, mid to late 2000s on, it kind of became like a passing league. And if you remember, like, the high scoring league for a while was the Big 12. People thought of the Pac-12 in that for a long time. And then it kind of switched over to the Big 12. They're like, oh, they don't play defense over there.
Yeah.
And there was a ton of great quarterbacks who came through and just racked up numbers. So I think it's always kind of had an identity like that with great quarterbacks. And why not? You know, why not go on a little run here as the conference with great quarterbacks and kind of high-flying offense and all of that good stuff. Last year was such an odd year where most of the best players in the conference on offense were running backs.
Yeah.
That was just, I think, a big anomaly. But especially when it comes to entertainment value and all of that stuff, like it comes down to the quarterback position. And I don't see any reason why the Big 12 can't go on a run here and get a lot of high-flying quarterbacks in here.
Yeah, I mean, it would just be about, I think, the rest of the teams in the conference because Julian Lewis is going to be nice. He's going to be a future best quarterback in the Big 12, future one of the best quarterbacks in all of college football. So it's about if Ryder Lyons, in my opinion, you know, is who people think he is.
Keyshawn
Henderson is who people think he is. And I think part of the reason we're seeing the surge that you're talking about here with high profile quarterbacks being targeted by these Big 12 teams. It's because if you don't have one, bro, you're losing.
Literally, yeah.
If you don't have one, you are not being taken serious as a college football program week to week. That's at least how I look at it. I've mentioned that multiple times. What do you have at quarterback? What do you have at head coach? If both of those boxes aren't checked with confidence, you can't be taken seriously, I don't think, in the year 2025 and beyond. So that's why I think Colorado is set up so nicely because they have Coach Prime, because they have Julian Lewis for 2026 and beyond, who, again, I think is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in college football here not too far in the future, and obviously a future NFL guy. So I think it's just about whether the rest of the quarterbacks in the conference can reach his level here in the next year or so.
I mean, yeah, to your point, I mean, RK, 15, not even 15, maybe 10 years ago, it's like RG3. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray.
Was Geno in the Big
12? Shoot. I mean, Brandon Weeden was tossing it around at Oklahoma State, Andy Dalton was doing it at TCU. It might be before they were in the Big 12, but
it was.
These programs, BYU, I think, has a Heisman, don't they have a Heisman trophy, right?
Yes, but very long before the Big 12
but like
days.
there's some like lineage, right? So it's exciting though, and I think that's one of the biggest L's that we took leaving the Pac-12 was kind of leaving that culture, like that. Maybe the California influence had a lot to do with that, like the 7-on-7, like high profile, let's just air it out style of play. So yeah, this is, I think, massive for the conference. It's obviously going to be taking the competition level up, and I think that's what we need in this conference specifically. We all, of course, believe in Julian, but even if one of these 5 stars like turns out, I mean, shoot, if you could turn around Houston, or if you can turn BYU into like a top 10, top 15 team, like that gives the Big 12 some credibility, something that they really don't have right now, which is who is like their Texas or their Oklahoma, or who's going to take that spot at this point. They don't have that that banner waving type of team right now. So whether it's Colorado with Julian or one of these other schools. It's just good news, I think, and it's something that the conference really needs.
And we talked about it a little bit, I think, last week when either Dre or Harrison was on for our musical chair show. That's the way to organically build a rivalry, I think, is if you have two kind of young quarterbacks, and I'm thinking about BYU more so in this case. Like if Ryder Lyons is, starts early on, and obviously Julian Lewis, we know he's going to start early on. That could potentially lead to a rivalry.
Totally,
obviously coming off
course.
the heels of the Alamo Bowl. 2 young kind of 5-star quarterbacks leading their program. That could be the beginning of a rivalry, and I'm definitely excited for that game, obviously this year, to see what that might bring.
Well, and just in the world of college football right now, where change is constantly imminent, you need the league to be entertaining.
100%.
And as much as I like want all of the teams around us to suck, it would be very bad for the future of the Big 12 if all of the teams around us sucked.
Yep.
Exactly.
And so it's weird because you don't want like, it's like, would you rather Ryder Lyons go to BYU or Oregon?
Right.
First reaction is kind of like, yeah, let him go to Oregon. I don't have to worry about him.
Sure.
But then it's like, okay, the conference needs to get better.
Yeah, needs juice.
You know, we
Some
want
star power.
this conference to eventually compete with the Big Ten and the SEC for that type of recognition, and I think it's possible. But you do have to land these caliber of players.
Yep. Someone put it. I think Ty Detmer, wasn't he at BYU? Right.
Yep.
I mean, they had
Steve
Steve Young. They had Zach Wilson, who went second overall, right?
Yep.
Not too long
He
ago.
was
So
a dog at BYU.
yeah,
crazy.
he was a lot of fun. To
It's
watch.
crazy what he turned into. He was
I know.
really fun to watch at BYU.
Yes, he was. But yeah, something to keep an eye on is the Big 12 just closing the gap. Really, I wouldn't even say the ACC, just to the SEC and Big 10 at this point. You know, I mean, you win a couple of these out of conference games, you win some bowl games over them, maybe win some CFP games over them. You start winning recruiting battles, and things are getting very, very interesting. So,
Hell yeah.
Thomas Castellanos.
Again?
My former guy.
Again.
Bro, that's crazy, bro. You just gonna turn your back on him, bro, after one little interview, bro?
No, yeah, well, the first quote, maybe. The second quote, the third quote, I'm out.
So this time it's the ACC in his crosshairs.
Not really. It's actually his teammates, his former teammates in his crosshairs.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's talking crazy, dog.
He says, I feel like I tore the ACC up by my damn self for the last 2 years.
What is
Yes.
he talking about?
And now I'm with a squad.
Squad.
I hope people don't think that Florida State is going to be the same team it was last year because we have weapons. People can't just sit back in zone coverage and watch me.
What is he doing? Everything he said was wrong.
I don't know. Someone's got to tell him to stop.
Yeah, I saw like an FSU reporter say like, I don't think that Thomas Castellanos will be available to the media anytime soon.
I'd be shocked.
Again, you know, this is always my immediate reaction. If Shedeur Sanders said something like this,
Of course, dude. Of course.
the world would have melted.
I was going to say, go ahead.
Because this time he actually really did throw his teammates under the bus.
Yes.
Yeah.
He basically said, like, I was playing with a bunch of scrubs. Now I have real teammates.
And there was another quote where he was like, yeah, I'm not the fastest player on the team anymore. I'm not the most athletic player on the team anymore.
It's crazy,
It's like, bro, come on, dude.
I just don't get this, man. Why? What are you gaining here?
And he wasn't, bro, again, you look at his game log. The last game he played at Boston College, he was 2 of 7 passing for 14 yards with an interception. The game before that, he was 13 of 28 passing. That's 46%.
Tearing it up all by himself.
And it's like,
And this sucks, dude. He's fun
he's
to watch.
fun to watch.
He
dude.
is.
Why did he do this? He actually is going to have people rooting for Bama as a 24-point favorite in
Right.
week 1.
Which is crazy to do, by the way. Do you know how much like bad will you have to put in to make that happen?
That's what I mean. Like, everyone's going to be like, all right, we kind of want to see this guy get smacked
Yes,
now.
exactly. It reminds me of, do you remember when USC opened the season against Bama like 10 years
And
ago?
they came out like crawling and shit.
Yeah, they came out. Yeah, they
And
come out
got
the smoke.
smacked.
Final score is like 56-3 or something.
Yep, I remember that.
That's what I think is we're looking down the barrel of.
Was that a Jalen Hurts-led team?
No, I think that was Jacob Coker.
That
think it was
doesn't sound
Jalen Hurts.
real.
I think that was one of those teams where it was like they were just so damn good they didn't even have a crazy quarterback. Like it was post AJ McCarron. Like
Okay.
they were just a ridiculous team. Chat,
And
let
that-
me know if I'm wrong.
The quarterback for
2016, yeah. Let's see. You were right, brother.
Jalen
Was Hurts?
True freshman quarterback
versus,
Jalen Hurts threw
let
2
me
touchdowns.
guess who the USC quarterback was. It Keaton Slovis?
That sounds about right. It was not though. I've never even heard of this dude. Max Brown.
Max Brown.
Oh,
And Sam
man.
Darnold also played that game as a backup.
Max Brown actually like makes TikToks now that are pretty good.
Really?
Damn. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
52-6 was that final.
Yeah, that was a total beatdown. It wasn't even close.
That was funny. And the Buffs were in the Pac-12 then, so I was rooting against USC.
They opened the season 20th overall too.
What year was that?
2016.
That was a good year for CU.
It was a good year for the Buffs. A fun year for the Buffs.
All right. I do have.
Also, when Allie and I started dating.
Congrats.
Go crazy.
I just got one more fun thing, really. But ESPN put out a list of college football's top 25 plays from the beginning of the millennium since 2000. Do we want to...
Wait, top 25 plays in the quarter century?
Yes.
Okay.
The Folsom Field Miracle has to be on there.
Well, I don't know how much from this last year is on here. I don't think anything from 24.
They're probably all like from national championships.
Or like playoff games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you take a guess at what the number one is?
Number one best play of the 2000s and on.
Come on, I believe in y'all.
Was it a national championship game?
Nope.
National championship game?
Nope. It was a regular season game. Come on.
I don't think this is as easy as you're making it out to be.
Yes, it is.
Okay, give us a year.
This took place in 2013.
Was it when is it related to you at all? Or a team
No.
that you like?
No.
Oh, okay.
2013. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, brother.
The kick six, guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
Auburn's gonna win the football game.
Yes,
Auburn's gonna
exactly.
win the football game.
I mean, yes, we should have probably known that, but that was also 10 years ago.
I remember being at a college house party
Really?
during that game while that was going on, for sure.
I remember I was upstairs watching that game in my bedroom, and then I saw it happen. And like we had DVR, and so I rewound it, paused it, and I was like, "Dad, you got to come see this right now."
No way.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I think I was in the mountains.
Number two is the Fiesta Bowl, Boise State.
Ooh. Kind of has a case for number one.
Wait, what did you say that was?
The Fiesta Bowl, Boise State over Oklahoma. They kind of mashed it all together. So they mentioned the hook
That's
and
not
ladder.
a play.
Well, yeah, they mentioned the hook and ladder, the Statue of Liberty.
That's
yeah.
not fair. You got to choose one.
That's Statue of Liberty.
That's top. Now we're doing top
Ridiculous.
25 moments.
Well, see, now here's where this list gets even more down that alley. 'Cause number three is they're calling. I didn't know this had a name. They're calling it Invincible. Basically, when Vince Young ran it in.
See, that was my first thought.
Yeah, that was my first
when
thought,
I
too.
asked,
Really?
I was like, was it a national championship game? That was my first thought.
That's
but,
what I was going to say if
yeah.
he answered yes. That doesn't have a name, by the way.
Right. Number four is Tua to Devontae Smith in the Natty.
That was fire.
That was
The
unbelievable.
buzzer, or was it
That
fourth
was a
quarter or
walk-off touchdown.
overtime?
I think that was the last play of the
Overtime.
game. That was a walk-off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was overtime, right? Like-
Probably.
Yeah, because he took like 2 sacks in a row.
that's right.
It was like 3rd and 24.
and then he
Just
said, "Watch
launched
this."
Yeah.
Next is.
And I remember I was sitting there watching the game with Allie, and I was like a Jalen Hurts guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so after he took those 2 sacks, I'm like, that's why you don't put a freshman quarterback.
And then you're like, oh. I guess that was cool.
Number five is aptly called the horror. That is App State over Michigan.
That was the next one where I was like, does that have to do with a team that you like?
No.
That was going to be my other thought.
It's called The Horror.
I guess.
I think that's like a part of the call, the radio call, maybe.
Probably.
Oh, the horror.
Yeah.
Number six is Michael Crabtree pulls free. Crabtree pulls free.
That was great. That was
Yeah.
versus Texas, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was sick.
nasty.
Top 25. Yes. Johnny Manziel is
He better
definitely
have.
in here for sure. Number 7 is the prayer at Jordan Hare. So the game before the kick six, they played Georgia, and Nick Marshall threw a Hail Mary. The ball gets tipped by a Georgia safety and lands in some guy's hands, and they run it in.
Nick Marshall was a slept-on elite
He
college
was.
football quarterback.
He was. Number 8, very tough for me. The Surrender Cobra. That's the Michigan. The punt.
The punt, blocked punt.
Yeah, that was terrible.
That was awesome.
That was sick.
Other moments that were not. This is another anti-Michigan one. The Clowney tackle against Vincent Smith in the Outback Bowl.
Where did they have that ranked? What
Number 11.
That's Denver higher in my book.
It's just one. It's just a hit.
bro. But
It was a true ball don't lie moment, though.
yeah, exactly right. It came
really
right
was.
after like a bad spot.
Oh, the bad spot.
Yes.
Everyone could see
Exactly.
exactly. That was crazy.
Yep. What else is on here? Okay, number 12. They call it "Oh My Gracious," and that's the Johnny play against Alabama. The ball like pops up in the air and he like runs around.
That's
Yeah,
my dog,
yeah.
dude. That season was crazy, bro. That's probably my favorite season of college football that I've ever like watched as a fan.
Whenever someone mentions a Heisman moment, that's what I think
Yep.
of.
Number 13 is Clemson's first win over Alabama in the national title. Deshaun rolls out to the right, hits Hunter Renfro.
Hunter Renfro, yeah.
The Bush push, you guys remember that?
Of course.
Oh yeah, with Leinart and
Yep.
Reggie. Yeah.
Against Notre Dame. I don't remember this one. Reggie Bush in the fog against Oregon State, 2004.
Isn't that the big cutback run, or
I
is that
think
against
that's-
That was
Fresno?
Fresno State.
Well,
He did that
yeah,
against.
because this says a 65-yard punt return in the fog. But I remember that play against Fresno.
I want to say that USC's backs were up against the wall in that game too. They were kind of like on upset alert a lot that season, and Reggie kept just doing something
Yep.
crazy at the end.
Trojans clung to a 1-point lead in the fourth quarter, and Bush delivered this.
Oh,
Was that Jaquiz Rogers, Oregon State?
Ooh, I
was
don't know if
cold.
does he go that far back?
I don't
04?
know. I think it was, and then I forget what his brother's name was.
Could have been. You can Star Chase's comment. We'll talk about that.
Jaquiz was drafted in 20. Yeah, he was there at Oregon State, 08 to 2010.
Yeah.
So too late.
Yeah.
Or too early before he.
Who was on that Oregon State team?
I can't even remember, honestly.
Okay.
Tim Tebow jump pass. Do you remember the Bluegrass Miracle, LSU versus Kentucky? That was another crazy Hail Mary one. I think the ball got tipped in that one.
Yep.
LSU walked that off. The lateral game, Duke versus Miami, where Miami had, 14 laterals or something ridiculous to win the game.
Yep.
Bro, Miami's was that? I think that was 2 seasons ago where Miami lost on like the last play of the game because of some goofy stuff.
Yep.
Because
Do you
of
remember that?
Because the crystal ball didn't
They didn't just
run.
kneel
He
the
didn't
ball.
kneel it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
and they
kneel it.
fumbled.
Yep.
That was crazy finish.
They've got some Ed Reed play from 2001 against FSU. Strips the ball from a teammate for a Hurricanes pick six.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
remember that?
I remember that,
I
yeah.
don't.
He just said, give me that shit.
They call this Gravedigger. I don't know where that comes from,
They
but
just making stuff up at this
yeah.
point.
Jalen Milroe to Isaiah Bond
Oh.
on fourth down against Auburn.
Yeah.
that was nuts, dude.
That was hard to watch.
Um,
By the way,
yeah.
Travis against TCU deserves credit. Deserves a spot in here.
They don't
If
even.
they're talking about specific play, I mean, yeah, that pick.
Like
for
Clowney,
sure.
that's like
Yes.
if you're putting in the Clowney thing, then you're just saying like the stakes don't really matter. It's just
Right.
about how sick the play was.
Right. Yeah, number 25 is Lamar like jumping over a Syracuse defender for a touchdown.
Yeah, that was a Heisman moment.
That was sick.
For sure. But like
So
these are
no,
just kind
so
of
no
like
Colorado plays on here.
yeah, no, these are just like kind of athletic feats too, which Travis should definitely be on the list.
They
for.
have the LSU catch where the guy caught it on the other dude's back.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. No, they do not. They do not though.
That one was, what was that guy's name?
Do you remember the crazy like D3? This is like 15 years ago, like 61-second lateral it around the field highlight.
Yeah.
That made this list.
Okay. By the way, Travis, the TCU pick, is that Travis's best play?
Oh man. In terms of just like athleticism and like impressive ability.
Yeah, just like the craziest play that he made. The best play that he made.
I don't know, bro, because I,
mean,
don't know.
you-
The UCF,
UCF
sticks
is
in my
kind of
mind
up
quite a bit too. Because it was, I don't know, the
Covered
mechanics
more
were
ground in
similar.
that one.
Yeah.
The elevation against Utah too.
I was thinking of the Utah catch.
Yeah, that was crazy, bro.
He's got so many. He deserved at least one on this list, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple years go by, he does make this list. But
The touchdown catch and his last touchdown catch against NDSU too, where he's being mugged
that one, yeah.
in the corner.
all right, let's go to the chat and wrap up the show. SN Services. So are the Buffs poised to have a top 30 2026 recruiting class? Truly, I don't know. I mean, we make predictions on this stuff. Feels like the last 3 years, but I don't know.
I think so.
I mean, I'd hope so. It's just
They were top 25 last year. I would assume the same.
Yeah.
Here in 2026.
I'll say top 15.
Cordox, who will be our 5-star this year? So we're looking at Sidarian, of course. We're looking at Jake Krull. Who else are we looking at, Scotty?
In terms of is Sadler?
No, he's a 4. I'm
Okay.
247.
I think that's probably be it then.
Those are the two big ones.
So those are your two guys. D-Mill says, I don't have any social media. How's Coach Prime doing? Seems like he's doing well. Travis, if you watch Well Off, Travis just went to the ranch to hang out with him over the weekend, last weekend. Coach was walking around on the lake, fishing on the boat and stuff. He looked like Coach Prime.
Yep.
So there's nothing going on campus right now, too, guys. So, Chase, do you hate the Miracle in Michigan, or were you too young? So I was too young, but my dad has told me many times about that play. I was like 10 months old when that happened or something. So I don't know. That plays like a crazy twist of fate to like look back on now, honestly. Kevin says we need a top 25 Buff games all time, RK.
Well, we have the top Folsom games on the website that Ted wrote up, which is fantastic. So I highly, highly recommend reading that. I think I actually have done. We should just do the all. Well,
yes,
we could do that, but I also want to do the all quarter century team.
Yeah, me too.
That'd be dope.
Eric with the super chat. Any news on Coach Prime's return to Boulder? Not yet. Again, with recruiting done after this weekend, obviously, he could go be there with the team just for summer workouts and stuff, but there's really nothing
He's
else
not even
going
really
on.
like allowed to like coach or
Yeah,
anything
exactly.
like that.
Yeah,
Like,
it's all player-led stuff right now.
Yeah, that's why Swayze's kind of leading stuff right now.
Who's doing a hell of a job, by the way.
Of course he is.
Apparently people are realizing what we've been trying to tell them.
Yes, thank you.
Carday Smith is a large individual. We've been trying to tell folks.
Honestly, one of the wildest things you guys have made up over the last 3 years. That was crazy.
I don't think it was our chat. I think it was like haters.
Yeah, it was just people.
It
on
was,
Twitter,
but some people in the fan base kind of caught on, and it made no sense.
Yeah. Well, and Swayze's already doing a great job there.
Yeah. He is.
And he's just like following Jordan Seaton. Like,
totally.
Just see those footsteps in the snow?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Walk in those.
Yeah.
And you're going to end up in a good place.
It's the same thing with Julian. I mean, obviously you have good option in Caden, and you have good options in Larry Johnson, Phillip Houston, but you said it, Scotty. The best case scenario for this team is the true freshman completely blows everyone away and wins the starting job.
Yep.
Amen.
East Coast Kev says, great show today. Thank you all for the coverage and hard work. Salute to my guy, Scotty Meatloaf.
Appreciate you, Kev.
Come on, Zedarian Morgan. We want to watch Scotty eat meatloaf on set.
That is it. We have 80 seconds.
We can end.
You don't have anything to add?
Nope. But I do really have to use the restroom.
All right. We'll be back tomorrow. You're gone tomorrow?
Yes.
So I think we'll have a special guest.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
See y'all then. Let's go Buffs.
Go Buffs.
Up the skull.
We all silly like the mayor.